Hello, welcome back and welcome in. My name is Nikki Wheeler. If you're interested in gaming, go subscribe to my other channel and follow my Twitch to see my gaming live. Now, let's start this video. Today, I'll be discussing Meghan Trainor. She is best known for her Diamond Certified hit All About That Bass, which came out in 2014 alongside her debut album, Title. The album itself was a nice cultivation of R&B inspired pop and old-fashioned girl group doo-wop. I think the reception of this album was a bit difficult to navigate because I don't know if people really liked the album or just the 2 or 3 popular songs on it. Either way, the reception sale-wise was amazing, all things considered. Personally, I think the songwriting in it took the stage over the music and the style of the artist. It was overly simplistic, but worked with the time period and what people were actually looking for. Some of my favorites off the album were 3am, Dear Future Husband, and Title. 3am is a heartfelt ballad that serves as a drunken call which turns to regret. It encapsulates the feeling of vulnerability and exposing oneself to raw emotions. The lyrics themselves are poignant and seem to be drawn from personal experience with heartbreak and introspection. The overall message of 3am centers around the importance of acknowledging and processing past experiences. Meghan encourages listeners to embrace vulnerability and self-reflection as a pivotal step towards growth and healing. That, along with the downbeat music and easygoing personality surrounding the song, it makes it a top track above the rest of the album. Now, the next song, Dear Future Husband, has received some feedback on the ideals of Meghan and how she treats relationships in the modern world. She has stated over many songs that she doesn't like the newer age relationships and wants a traditional relationship dynamic, and it isn't any different in this song either. Though some lyrics like "You got that 9 to 5, but baby so do I, so don't be thinking I'll be home and baking apple pie" might suggest that it isn't fully about traditions and it might just be some requirements that she personally wants for her significant other. Whether the song's topic was about that or not, the song itself sounds amazing and holds up well musically because it's another retro doo-wop upbeat track. Now, the title track, Title, is about entitlement. It is definitely one of the most abstract in the way it has multiple different instruments and techniques mashed together that makes a pretty picture. There is a Caribbean drumming, and the bridge is modeled with trap 808, and then the usual doo-wop and old school genres. Together, it makes this artistic and appealing sound that a lot of people weren't doing at the time of Title's peak. Meghan was getting recognized in the music world for her cabaret choruses and some rap-like verses, like in Title, and would continue the trend of doo-wop sounds as she is one of the very few people who have been mastered in the 2010s. She does so in her second album, Thank You, while also moving into the traditional pop world with hits like No and Me Too. Though I do like these 2 songs and can see the radio appeal, those songs were severely overplayed extremely fast, so I tend not to listen to them as much, but once in a blue moon, they are definitely really nice to come back to. The album was released in 2016, and the deluxe included 18 songs, of which Champagne Problems, Throwback Love, Just a Friend to You, and Woman Up were my favorites. Firstly, Champagne Problems finds Meghan sarcastically complaining about first world problems and the advancement of technology. But it was just fun and easy problems that you don't want to cry about because you got to get over them. Out of all of the songs in this album, I think this one is one of the very few that you can actually get up and dance to without having to think about it. Then you have a more somber song like Just a Friend to You. It is a self-pitying song about a potential relationship between friends that keeps getting shut down over and over again because of circumstances like distance or other issues. So it was a constant battle for a love that may never actually happen. I really like this song because while it is a somber message, it's mellow and doesn't necessarily have a sad vibe to it, which is a good change of pace compared to my usual music, so you can still be sad without all the sadness. Then you have a song like Woman Up, which is the complete opposite and is more along the reins of No. The song follows an empowering message telling women to do what you want, putting on makeup, hair up, and other stuff for themselves and to feel beautiful in their own skin. It was actually originally written for someone else, but Meghan sent a demo to it for the person when she was 18 and nothing came of it until she had questioned what had happened, which was later answered as she rewrote the verses for this album. The song is a mash of dance pop and R&B, which worked really well together. The album itself was really good with singles and music, but I don't think it was as cohesive as her first work, which isn't a downgrade or an upgrade to me. It's just a note to make when listening, because you can get an acoustic song one second and then a dance song the next. And by no means has Meghan abandoned her theatricality. Job Club exuberance is an inherent to Meghan's persona, as Katy Perry's cheerleader pinup is to hers. The key to Thank You success is that she swapped out the gleeful retro pageantry in favor of modern R&B while staying true to her own style of doo-wop. She's smart to keep things light and positive, but it's a deliberately youthful sound in an era that yearns for maturity. And that moves us into the third album, Treat Myself. This album could be considered her typical pop and doo-wop alongside a new genre of funk. It makes use of club-ready dance rhythms, contemporary R&B hooks, screwdriver bass lines, shimmery synths, and bright vocal overdubs. It's also a move that shifts her sound away from the gleeful club bop of All About That Bass and closer to the slick hip-hop infused funk of Bruno Mars. This album is an intense listen for sure. It can be said as overstimulating because of all the new sounds being brought in compared to the last album, which is a fair assumption, but I think that compares with the funk of electric dance genres because it is supposed to be constantly moving. I think creativity-wise, this album is probably a top-tier album for Meghan. Some of my favorites off of it were Evil Twin, Nice to Meet Ya, and Genetics. Starting with Genetics because I wanted to point out the fact that I don't like the Pussycat Dolls, but this song played out well. Nicole Scherzinger's voice couples well with Meghan's as the song talks about loving yourself as you work on yourself. Meghan has talked about this song and I am in agreement with her. She had wrote the song simply going off the fact that the label wanted another All About That Bass, which sucks, and she has stated that as well. As an artist, shouldn't be shoved into a box when they have a song blow up, especially so early in their career, because there's so much more to be said. Next is Nice to Meet Ya. This song for me was much anticipated because of the feature. Nicki Minaj adds so much to every song she's put on, and there is no difference here. This is the first time the pair have worked together, and they seem to cooperate really well, and the song got super popular because of Nicki's verse. The song as a whole is extremely good, and I must admit my favorite part is the rap she provides. She seems boastful and is happy about doing her own thing and not for a man. Finally, the song Evil Twin has got to be my personal favorite off the album because it adds so much more character to Meghan as a person and the album. It talks about the parts of you that you don't like and saying how it isn't you. This side of her persona is also presented as the type who isn't afraid to get into vociferous confrontations, and these are all the types of actions which the singer classifies as bad decisions. The funk genre is well suited for this type of song, and her vocal range also complements it very well. There are some songs like Blink that are not as strong as the aforementioned, but it's still a very strong album in my opinion, especially because this album was delayed for over a year. The album lacks some of the effortless charm of her debut as the singer trades her breezy singing energy in favor of sophisticated production style that sometimes threatens to lose her in the mix. I love this album, and it probably is top 2 for me, but it was still lackluster in the productivity and storytelling like her debut. I've read on multiple occasions on how people thought this album was self-flagellation disguised as empowerment, but I don't think it was. Yes, some of the songs are self-appointed, but in my opinion, it's just music. So the lyrics can be interpreted differently or used for people singing, not just Meghan herself. Her next album was a holiday album called A Very Trainor Christmas, which was good, but I won't be counting it towards the ranking because it was specific to a holiday. Now we have the 5th and final album thus far, released in October of 2022, Taking It Back. I don't know if the album title was intentional or not, but I think it was a reference to Treat Myself straying too far away from her roots of doo-wop pop, and she is now taking back the reins. This album has revitalized Meghan's popularity with the single Made You Look, which sparked major attention on TikTok as well as a dance on the app. Since she's not attached to authenticity anymore after the last album, she can threaten the glitterball disco pulse of Dance About It and the self-explanatory Mama Wanna Mambo into taking it back just as easily as she can pepper the record with digital flair and modern R&B beats, both of which do liven up the title track. Meghan's dedication to reviving the spirit of Tidal means that the attitude and melody can occasionally seem preserved in amber, but taken as a whole, separated from trends and fashions, Taking It Back showcases her knack for hooks and musical theater pizzazz with cool efficiency. Some of my favorite songs were Shook, Mama Wanna Mambo, and Sensitive. Shook was a repetitive beat and lyric song, but it worked well because it was fast-paced and connected well to the topic of making your partner excited and nervous in a good way. The ad-libs in it also worked well with the short cutoffs of the beat, which I loved. Then, in a song like Sensitive, where Meghan speaks of how she was fooled and misled by this friend who lied to her face and played games, acting like everything is okay while she was left in pain. Meghan questions whether she is too sensitive or she's had enough of tolerating such behavior. She urges this friend to stop pretending like they never meant to hurt her and take responsibility for their actions. It features Scott Hoying of Pentatonics, which helped add in the doo-wop part of the song with his ad-libs throughout the entirety of the song. It really did capture the vibe of Tidal, and it was really refreshing to listen to. The album as a whole did well, and most songs included brass and string instruments, which helped amplify that feeling. Now, I will be moving into the rankings of the albums. In total, Meghan has released 5 studio albums, one of which is a holiday album and won't be counted towards this ranking. This is a personal preference, but all of the albums are good in their own right, and I highly recommend listening to all of them. At number 1, I have Taken It Back. Number 2 is Treat Myself. Number 3 is Tidal. And number 4 is Thank You. Meghan Trainor has had her fair share of the ins and outs of the music industry and backlash, but I think she has made her name for herself in the genre that was quiet for so long, and I'm glad to see her doing well again. And with that, I'm going to end the video there. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Comment down below suggestions for the next one, and until next time, bye guys.